Doria Thomas.
Okay. So you were involved with Hurricane Katrina, right?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about
Wait,
you know, start
5 years and 8 days,
8 days
I
today.
think to be exact.
So and you live in New Orleans.
Yes,
You live
all
there
my life.
your whole life. So tell us about the day before the hurricane. What was going on?
Well, the day before the hurricane, I was selling drugs, and I got busted for selling. I didn't get busted for selling drugs, but I got busted for selling volumes that was for me that was not in my bottle. I went to jail
The day that day?
that day, and I got out
What day?
the 28th. The 28th. I got out the 28th.
So you're out of jail before the hurricane
Yep.
hit. How long
Yeah,
were
but
you,
I was there when the water was rising
how long were you in jail for?
for like a day and something.
That's the day. Okay.
Yes.
So you were in jail and then you got out the day.
Yes.
What did you do after you got out of jail?
Okay, after I got out, I went saw my dad, and my dad was staying like on Washington Avenue in some apartments, and um, after that, we was like upstairs, and then the water, the rain and the stuff was coming, and they didn't want to really evacuate us, and it was like telling us to wait. So then the water started rising, and then like the day was passing, and I guess nobody really wasn't worried about the water, but to just to see that water rising like it was rising. I don't know if I could explain to you how it was rising, but it was rising. I think everybody was getting scared. So I didn't have time to go by my daughter, and I didn't have time to get my dad. But some kind of way my dad had went back by my daughter.
So your dad back got your
Yeah,
daughter?
he was by my
By
daughter.
your daughter.
Yep,
Okay. And that's Faynell?
that's Fennell. My daughter named Fennell.
And this is all on August 28th.
All on
So
August 28th.
reaching closer to the nighttime, what was going on then at night on August 28th?
It just was dark. You couldn't see nothing, but you could see the water. And coming to the end of that night, then it was like the 29th, the hurricane day, and the water was just steady rising. But you could look out the windows and you could see the cars, the water coming over the cars, and then the water coming over the houses and stuff. And can't do this, Chris.
You're okay. You're okay.
And you didn't have time to go get no family, so you trying to get out. So they finally got us, and they put us like they was putting people up in the convention center and in the Superdome.
That's like the football arena.
In the convention center, is like where they have a lot of conventions at, and
This is all downtown New Orleans, like where the Saints play. That kind of stuff.
and so then they had got a hole in the Superdome. Well, they had a hole in the Superdome, so they moved people out the Superdome to move to convention center. Then people they wanted to get the people out the convention center because they was raping the people in there, and it just was ugly. It was doing all kind of bad stuff to people up in there, and it was stealing the people's stuff. So then they got us out and they brought us to this bridge, and we was like on the bridge for like 4 or 6 hours with no food and no water, and some kind of way I had got to a shelter like in Baton Rouge, and that's where my fiance found me at.
How did you get to the shelter?
The bus brought us to the bus brought us to the
Buses were running as you were, as all was
and a bus brought us to the shelter in Baton Rouge, and I just was lucky to get to Baton Rouge because they brought them all over. I had the clothes that I had on for I think like 4 days. I had mismatched shoes on, and he was asking me where was everybody, and I told him I didn't know where everybody was at. I stuck on the Belmont Church in '05, and they sent me in '06 to find my family. But when I got down there, I rode down there with some friends of mine that I know from New Orleans. I rode down there with them, and they went on the street called they went on the street St. Anne Street by their family. So they was asking me, well, Dora, where you want to go? Where you want to go? and I didn't know where to go. It looked like the Twilight Zone. So I just told them, I said, just bring me to the bus station. So they said, well, what you going to the bus station for? I said, I don't know, cause I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to go at all. When I got to the bus station, well, when I came here, I had some numbers. I used to be a gambler, so I had like 10 numbers in my head, 10 numbers that just was ringing in my head. So when I went to New Orleans in December of '06, and they brought me to the bus station, the numbers was ringing in my head, and it was like I was like wondering what the numbers was, but all the while I didn't know that was my daughter's phone numbers. But by me gambling a lot, I thought it was like lottery numbers. So then I was just standing by the phone and I was crying, and someone was like dollar numbers, and I was like, what numbers? And
What were the numbers?
my daughter's phone numbers,
Do you remember it?
504 273 8060.
So you thought that was a lottery number?
I thought it was like lottery numbers. When I dial it's like God helped me dialing numbers. And when I dialed numbers, the voice on the other end said hello, and I was crying. I said hello, and my daughter Fennell, she said, "Mama." I said, "Fennell." So then I started crying more. So I said, "Fennell, where you at?" She said, I said, "I'm scared." I said, "I'm here. I'm scared." I said, "I don't want to be here." She said, "Where you at?" I said, "I'm in New Orleans." She said, "Well, I'm in Baton Rouge." She said, "Go outside and catch the bus before it get dark and catch the bus. They got a Greyhound bus that gonna bring me from New Orleans to Baton Rouge." So I walked across the street to the bus stop. So then it was like deserted, and I was scared. So they had a lady must have was watching me in the bus station. So by the time I got to the bus stop, she pulled up. She said, "Oh, Miss, you all right?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm trying to get to Baton Rouge." I said, "My daughter told me it's a bus that'll bring me from here to Baton Rouge." So she told her son to take my luggage and put it in the trunk of her car, and she brought me like 3 blocks down to the first bus stop. And so then I called the Greyhound bus, and it brought me to Baton Rouge. Okay, then I'm standing at this bus stop, at the bus station, and people picking them up. So they had this guy like in the far end, and he kept watching me. So I was like getting nervous because it was like me and another lady was the only lady out there. So he kept watching me, so I was getting nervous. So then he walked over, and as he was getting closer to me, I was getting scared. My heart was beating, and he was like, "Miss, you waiting for somebody?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, you know Fennell?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's my daughter." He said, "Well, Miss, that's why I've been watching you, because she didn't tell me what you had on." He said, "I come to pick you up." So he brought me to my daughter's house, and we just was hugging, and I was glad to see her, and that was in '06. So then in '07, Beltline Church of Christ sent me back to New Orleans, and I found like my sisters and my son. I found my son and one of my sisters in '07. Then in '08, I went back to New Orleans, and that's when I found everybody. But I had been looking for my dad, because I know my dad was with my dog, with Fennell, but we didn't know. I thought he was with Fennell, but Fennell said he didn't catch the bus with her. So then the church, the Beltline Church of Christ, was helping me to find my dad, and we had no luck in finding my dad. So then one day I was going to the Social Security office, and some said, "Well, maybe Social Security people could help you find your dad." And then I was like, "No, they probably ain't gonna help me." But then after going to the Social Security office and giving them the information that I had, told them I was a Hurricane Katrina survivor, and they looked him up in the computer, and they found out that he died. He died September 23rd of '08 in a nursing home, and I was like devastated, because my dad was my best friend. My mom was my best friend. Well, she died like in 2002, and then I just had my dad. And my dad, but I'm saying this to say, if anybody out there have a family, if you married with your family, you make up with your family. Because tomorrow is not promised to you. It's not. And at a drop of a hat, you can lose your mama, you can lose your daddy, you just could lose anybody. So if they mad and y'all mad, somebody have to be the better person to make up. Because to lose a family member, like I lost my dad and lost my children, didn't know if they were living or dead. It's not, it's no time to be mad with no one. It's not the right time. You need to make up and you need to seek Jesus, because I have. And you just be amazed what the Lord can do. And when you try to live right, you have to. Because the choices you make, you got to carry them for the rest of your life. Because I think I be doing, I think I be trying too hard. I don't think I be really trying, but I do. So I can pat myself on the back, I do. Yes.